I've been asked to do this right now because a fan asked me to do it. It was the child, by the way. And so I decided to do it. And in the meantime, while I wait for people to get on here, since of course I upload these like after the live is over, I'm just going to say some stuff. Some very unhinged and stupid stuff. Oh, someone's here. Hi, child. Hi, kid. Hi, random child that I don't know in real life. I think you were the first one on here, or you're a top fan or something. I don't know. But, anyways, so people are getting on here, and that's a good thing. I am glad that there is someone watching, which is pretty good. So, anyways, I just kind of want to talk about how I've been doing. And so, as you probably know, I did one of these yesterday, and it just got crazy, and I even had to ban some people. And so here I am again. I just want to remind you guys that when I do these things, I don't want any inappropriate behavior, okay? If I ask you to stop doing something, I want you to stop doing it. Whether it's like annoying, it is inappropriate, it is just, you know. And if not, I can literally ban people because I just found out how to do that. And so I'm gonna do it if I have to. But, anyways, so I don't want to talk about what happened the last stream. So I am just here to talk about some fun stuff. So if you guys want to ask me any questions, I am free to answer. That was originally what I planned to do. That is what I want to do with these live streams. So like I can get to know the audience better and they can get to know me better. I know I haven't been posting like regular videos lately, and I said I was gonna be working on an animatic. What's taking so long? Busy stuff, school started again, and it does truly stink. I am in 8th grade now. Now you're probably wondering, if I'm in 8th grade and I'm 14, then why am I in 8th grade, you know? What does bisexual mean? It means that you are okay to be in love with both genders. That's perfectly fine, you know? Oh, hi, person. I'm not pretty. Stop calling me that. You know who is pretty though? I'll tell you who's pretty. I can't really show right now. I mean, maybe. Got this. Okay, so I got an entire collection of stickers here of all my hot daddies. My favorite members of BTS, which are all of them. So, if I can pull them out. Wait, I want y'all to guess who is my favorite BTS member. This one might actually be a shocker. I'm kidding. I don't have a favorite because only real armies love them all. But there was a really specific one that I've been getting into lately. Is that him? Hang on. I'm not sure if you're not a BTS member. My sister, she's not here. She's busy playing Roblox. But anyways, if I can find the right one. Oh my gosh. Where are all my stickers of him? Hang on. I'm sorry this is taking so long. I have an entire thing of these. This one might be him. Jungkook and Taehyung. Well, I mean, you'll see. You know what? I think this one might be it. Let me show you. Can you guys see it very well? I'm 14. Anyways, I think y'all can kind of see it. Can you guess who this is? Does anyone know who this man is? Okay. I am just curious. And if no one can get it, then I'll just spill the answer. Unless you want me to spill the answer right now, I can spill the answer. Hang on. What is up with my hair today? Who's that? No one knows? This is, well, he goes by 3 names. So in BTS, his name is Suga, his regular name is Yoongi, and his solo name is Augusti, or Augusti, however they pronounce it. I don't know, but anyways, yeah, he's a Korean. Well, actually, he's a rapper, but yeah. I've been really getting into his music lately because, well, I was curious on the members' solo careers. Nina, be quiet. Anyways. Yes, I am. Anyways, so I just been into their solo albums lately and I wanted to listen to them all. And well, his was actually one of my favorites. And so I really liked it. I was so impressed with what he did. Yeah, he is a rapper. I am good, thank you. But anyways, I just really liked his music. It was impressive. I think, well, I had a hard time picking my favorite song from him, but I really liked Hagum. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm so bad at Korean, but it was definitely one of my favorites. It it is a good song. Listen to it for yourself. It is really good. But anyways, I am good today. Yeah, you're new to the stream. Good for you. I just saw all these other ones. But yeah. So, there you have it. Anyways, are there any other questions you want to ask me, because I will gladly answer those, um and if not, I can ask you. Wait, I should ask you guys a question. I'm just curious to hear you guys' answers. Does anyone here like K-pop or BTS or Stray Kids or Hypen or ATEEZ? Cause if you do, I have a question that I would like to ask the fans. You haven't seen it? Oh, that's okay. But anyways. Ymir? Oh, she's not here. I'm not sure where she is right now, but I was actually playing with her earlier. But yeah. Back to the question I was gonna ask those fans of the groups. But if you do like those groups, I'm honestly curious to know, huh? Your sister does? Okay, then you can ask her this question, because I am dying to know. But out of BTS and Hypen, Stray Kids and ATEEZ, which one is the best? I am curious, and I'm willing to start a fan war here. I am just curious to know what you guys are gonna say about that. And then, well, some of you ask other people that you know who do like it. In the meantime, you guys are free to ask me any questions that you want, or like BTS. All right, I can see that. I mean, clearly you can tell by all the stickers that I put on this, you know? Can you repeat the question? Oh, yes. So, out of BTS, Stray Kids, and Hypen, and ATEEZ, which one is the best out of them? The kid's really saying BTS. Are you an army? That is so cool. That's so nice. And speaking of them, so either on May or June, I'm actually going to the BTS concert because they're planning on having a spring comeback, and I think they like showed something about like certain dates, and the closest to my location that I could find, because in case you don't know, I live in a specific state. Sadly, they're not going to that state, which is a bummer. She said BTS, all right. So far, everyone's just saying BTS, and I totally understand. And I'm gonna answer the question. I've had a hard time deciding, but I've been into BTS the longest, so I guess that's my answer too. But yeah, and I've actually been into BTS since I was in 5th grade. And if I'm in 8th grade now, then I've been into them for 4 years, which is so cool. But anyways, so you're probably wondering why I am saying that I'm 14 even though I'm in 8th grade when it's like August right now. August, get it? Get it? No one got it? Oh, Okay. Anyways, so I just been rounding up my age. I am going to actually turn 14 very soon. And not only that, I sound 14. So really I am 13, but I am going to be 14 really soon. So that's why I just keep on saying that. So I am turning 14, but I am currently 13, but I just say 14. She said the rest of them are not bad though. Fair. Aw. Actually, I saw my brother graduate basic training. He's in the army. Oh, good for him. Wait, which army? Okay, I need to stop with the BTS references. Seriously, my friends have been telling me to cut it out, and maybe I should cut it out. But good for your brother. I'm proud of him. Tell him he should listen to BTS. Anyways, so, back to what I was saying. So, does anyone have more questions? Or, wait. Oh, okay. But anyways, so, um, I can, like, tell a story. Huh? He doesn't like what? Oh, he doesn't like BTS? That's sad. Oh, K-pop in general. Dang, that hits hard. K-pop is so good, though. He's missing out on a lot. Anyways, I always suspected that you were, like, a younger sibling of someone. But anyways. So, back to what I was saying, I can tell a story. In fact, the story of how I got into BTS is very interesting, but I'm not sure if any of you really want to hear that right now. So, I don't have to say it, but I might make a video on it if you do want to know, or if you're dying to know right now, I guess I can tell you. You're a younger sibling of 7. That's crazy. So, like, you got 7 siblings and means 8 children in the house? That must be wild. I already don't like my sister. 'Cause she stinks. Oh, you're the youngest. That must hit hard. But hey, you have something in common with Jungkook. You're both the youngest. Okay, I'll actually cut it out. But yeah, anyways. So, there was something else that I did want to say today that some of you might be interested in hearing, some of you may not. And some of you probably don't care. You get bullied. Womp womp. I'm just joking. Too bad for you, though. Hey, I get bullied too. I can't be talking here. But, anyways. Huh? Oh, your grandpa. Well, that's interesting. Well, good for you. Anyways. So, what has been up to you guys lately? I'm honestly just curious to know what you guys have to say. And then I'll tell you what's been going on with me. But I could even do that right now while you guys say your answers. You get bullied all the time. Well, that's kind of sad, and then you get used to it. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but you definitely seem like a kid. Because I've seen some of your videos, and you look like a kid. And that's perfectly fine. You did. Yes, you did. I don't want them to know that I know you in real, well, not real life, but like in other places, but it's fine. You're 9 years old, okay. Well, that explains your young age. As I was saying. So. Well. Ignore that. I don't really know what other thing I should really tell you guys. But if you do want to hear more, I'll tell you more. Wait, I could tell a pretty interesting story if you want. But I doubt no one's gonna care. In fact, I'm sure most of you already left anyways, so I don't mind. Well, that I'm gonna continue playing with background. I'm kidding. I mean, what you guys want to hear? If, like, how I ever been through something, or like how did I get into certain things? How did I get into anime or whatever, K-pop in general, which I think I already mentioned, or maybe I haven't. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that story, but I'll save that up for another video. But unless you guys want to hear it right now. But honestly, I just want to go with what you guys want to hear. if there is something in specific that you want to know about, I will gladly tell you. And in the meantime, I got this from Miniso. But anyways, so I've recently been going through not much. I mean, school's just boring. The first week of school is definitely one of the most useless weeks. Like, if you could skip any week of school, judging by how useful they are, it's definitely the first or last week. Like, on the first week, it's just get to know the same kid for the millionth time, and it's so boring. You come to school to learn, not do the same stuff over and over that you've been doing for 6 effing years. I can't swear because I know there are kids on here. I mean, I originally say that I don't want my content to be for children. The content I originally intended on making was supposed to be 13 plus, but there's that. I mean, unless you're considerably mature child, like I know the child who's 9 watches Squid Game, which I find interesting. But I mean, it's a good show. Honestly, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for liking that show. That's a really good show. I love Squid Game. And I'm really sad that's over. What if there's a Squid Game America and they do it by the oh my gosh. When they do that by the time I'm 18, then I will consider auditioning for that because that sounds interesting and I'd love to be a character in that. But anyways, but yeah, I don't blame you for liking it. And speaking of that, so a lot of people have their doubts of ever experiencing a Squid Game America. That's my dad calling my sister. But anyways, so I don't really know if there is going to be a Squid Game America. And the reason why I have my doubts for it is because Squid Game is intended to be like a show about Korean games. In fact, the original Squid Game is supposed to be about the Korean game itself. So that's where the doubts come in. At the same time, people have suspected rumors because, you know, the high demand and everything for more. I would see why they would continue doing that. Not only that, you know, that they want more money in the company. So I would also see why it happened. So honestly, there was a 50-50 chance of it, in my opinion. I'm just gonna wait till fate decides what happens if there is going to be a Squid Game America or not. But in the meantime, that's just what I think. I have my doubts, but at the same time, it is possible judging by, you know, potential. Anyways, so what other things do you want to know? If not, then I'll just start yapping about something else. Like, why Korean men are hot. I'm just kidding. Men can be hot in different ways. Just, I don't know. K-pop idols have that specific charm that makes you not be aromantic. I know, it's ironic. I am aromantic, but then I like K-pop idols. And it sounds so ironic, but I don't know why. They just have that charm. So, like, I used to think that having a celebrity crush is just so cringe. I never really understood it, and not until later when I really got to BTS and realized that these men are so hot. Not only that, they are talented and basically, you know, husband material. That sounds so wrong. But there's the reason for that, so I understand that. But like with the general celebrity crushes that people had, I didn't really get it. But with K-pop idols, I really gave them an exception because somehow they got me into them. And I still think that even though I literally have a crush on Yoongi, who I think is the most underrated member. But again, everyone has their own opinion, so call me cringe for that. Going literally against a statement that I had made so bold. I don't know why. But anyways, so oh wow, there's oh wait, never mind, someone got back on. I don't know. But I don't want to make this too long, but I will tell one more story because I feel like I could tell two stories in this one. How I got into K-pop and how I got into BTS. I don't know. This is just an interesting, oh my gosh, an interesting story to share. And I mean, well, this chat seems pretty quiet right now. So I might as well just yap about something while seeing if someone's actually gonna watch it. Don't ask what's going on over here. Anyways, so it was a little while ago. I was in like fourth grade or something, and there was this show that was out, and it was called Amphibia. It's still out. It's a really good show. I definitely recommend it. In case you didn't know, it's about these three girls who get into this other world called Amphibia, but they're all separated. You probably know the plot. Gen Zs know what I mean. And Gen Alphas, and I don't know. But anyways, really good show. And so, in like one of the last episodes, in like the last season, they played a Blackpink song. Some of you know what it is. If you know, you know. It's called As If It's Your Last, really good song. And I thought, wow, that song was so good. So I decided to use the Shazam thing on my phone, and because it was until I got to fourth grade when I specifically turned 10 when I got my phone. I even remember it was like in March. But anyways, so I still had that thing. And anyways, so I decided to Shazam it, find out what the song's called. It was called As If It's Your Last Fight Blackpink. And even the video was called The Power of K-pop. I know, sounds kind of cringe, but at the same time, if you watch K-pop Demon Hunters, it's actually not that cringe. Anyways, so there was that, and I started listening to more Blackpink songs because I thought they were good. And then I decided to browse the K-pop section in Apple Music because K-pop seemed interesting, especially knowing that Blackpink was very popular. And then I found the kings of K-pop, probably the hottest men in existence. In fact, so hot that they have that charm that makes an arrow ace not go arrow. Or ace. Oh, anyways, ignore that. So, I found out about BTS, and as you could expect, I was so happy. And I realized that their style is very different from Blackpink's. So, if you know, Blackpink's style is kind of like being rich and famous and everything, being ahead of everyone, versus BTS is more about positivity. And at that time, I was really into that stuff. Also, with general like pop culture nowadays, it's all about love and sex, which I never really understood why it had to be that way. And especially for an aromantic, they don't exactly relate to that, you know? And for an asexual, not even close. But, anyways, so after that, I started listening to more of their music, and I really liked their general concept. They were really cool, and I definitely really liked that. And at the same time, it was also around the time where they were going to start getting into military training, because that's mandatory. And you probably know how I felt. So, no music for a while? Yeah, exactly. No music for a while. Which is going to be so sad. But on the bright side, in the meantime, I could listen to their other music, and then other members were, working on their solo careers, which was pretty good. And so, anyways, um, so I think this was around the time, I'm not sure, but I remember in like 6th or 7th grade, Jungkook's album 7 was out, and of course I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think it was definitely 6th grade, because I remember in 7th grade, I was just kind of. How do I explain what happened in 7th grade? Well, I'll just get into that when I can. In the meantime, 6th grade. So that was a very interesting year for me. I was starting middle school because that's when middle school starts in America, at least. At least from what I heard. I don't know, it at least started for me. So I was starting middle school and getting into everything, and then at the same time, I was really into BTS. However, there was a catch. They may be the most popular K-pop group at the time, but barely anyone in school actually liked them. In fact, I don't think anyone did. Like, I'm not kidding. If the principal were to randomly announce that like BTS was coming in the meantime and going to perform at school and everything, I'd be the only one excited. The other kids would be like, "Oh, they're so overrated. This is so boring." Yeah, I can expect you to be that way. Not even my closest friend likes them. Isn't that sad? In fact, she gets ticked off when I can't help but make a BTS joke. Yes, it does get irritating, I understand that, but I can't help it, you know? Especially right now that they're all back. But, anyways, so that was happening, and well, well, not them actually coming to the school, but it was a time for me to consider listening to more of their music, and so I did. What's my favorite song from them? There's a really good song called Jump. Not by Blackpink, by BTS. I think I already said that. If you listen to it, you probably know what I mean. And that sounds kind of ironic knowing about what happened with Blackpink. But, anyways, and then I started listening to more Blackpink songs at the same time, and I got into other groups, which was pretty cool. I really like Stray Kids. That was definitely one of my favorites. Probably like definitely my favorite group, probably even tied with BTS. Like seriously, that's why I have that red hair extension. I'm not wearing it right now, but that is why I had that. But anyways, since 7th grade came, and well, I wasn't at my best state. So first, there was an incident where I got. It's gonna be sensitive. I'm not sure if I. I mean, sure I can, but I'm not gonna name drop. But there's this boy at my school, okay? And, well, hey, I doubt anyone's gonna actually look back on this, so yeah. There was this guy who accused me of trying to, like, threaten to give out his address or something. And it was a lie. And the principal believed it, but then I managed to convince them, which was pretty good. But people didn't really want to hang out with me after that because they thought that was true, which, well, I wasn't happy about that. And so even I got kicked out of my friend group for that. And I really couldn't forgive that kid. And then there's this girl, not gonna name drop, but she actually ships me with this kid still, and it really annoys me. Even to this day, I tell her, I'm not gonna like him unless he apologizes. And I think she's really trying to get that kid to apologize. Like, seriously, she really wants us to get together. Ironic. And I have my doubts that that kid will ever apologize. And I'm over it. Not really. I'm not gonna forgive him, but I'm over it. You know what I mean? But anyways. So then I was just at a really sad state at the time. A lot of my friends had betrayed me who I even thought were still my friends. And please leave. I'm trying to tell a story. I should probably go for this. I should probably go. But anyways. So then in like 7th grade, I just was not at my best state. And then in January, so in 6th grade, I got really into my art teacher, who a lot of kids didn't like for some reason. But that was back in like 6th grade, obviously. And I didn't know why kids didn't like her. She was awesome. She was the only one who was actually teaching me art. But then in January of 7th grade, I found out that she was going to be retiring, and I know I should be happy about her, entering a new chapter of her life. But for me, that was going to be hard because I really thought she's the only person who could understand me at the time. And so now going to the 8th grade, I guess I would feel all alone thinking of that. So, and then like around March, I decided to do drama club. That's when my friends started forgiving me again. But a lot of them still didn't really trust me. They still thought all of the stuff that happened was true. And then in April, I was just at a really bad state. I wouldn't say I was depressed, but close to there. And so, and it was just not a time for me. And not only that, so it was the last time I was going to have art. It was the very last elective. So knowing that I would be in the last class that my art teacher would ever teach, it would be really hard. And so then after that, well, just kind of felt alone. And even she could tell that there was something off with me. And then in May, our drama concert came. I was with my close friend, Anna. I've mentioned her before. Again, I'm allowed to say that. because I've been given permission. She was the only one who understood me, and I was really happy about that. She was the one I could trust most during this time. And then me still at this state, I was really saddened. I finally decided to get into music again. And so I started listening, and I go back to my old playlist, and I saw all those BTS songs. And as you know, their songs are generally uplifting. Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna cry. But believe it or not, they actually got me out of that state, which sounds so ironic knowing that they're just music artists, but it had really cheered me up during that time. Oh my gosh, I can't be crying right now. Hey, there's barely anyone watching, so sure, but it had really helped me at that time. It oh my gosh, I'm sorry. But they gave me the motivation to, you know, and unlike other groups, no offense to Blackpink, but BTS has very motivating songs, and that is why I would absolutely defend them if I have to, because they really helped me get out of this state, because they motivated me to get back into what I like. And so I'm an artist, I continue doing that anyways. And so there was that. That's why I really liked them. And here I am now in 8th grade. No one else likes them either. It's just me. I recently got all those stickers in that pencil case, but that's where I am now. And honestly, do I really wish that other kids were into them at school? Yes, because then they'd realize, they're very different from regular modern artists. And that just, it really says something, I never really understood why kids liked certain artists. Like, you probably know some of these, but very overrated singers, in my opinion. No offense to Sabrina Carpenter or anyone like that, but I do think they're kind of overrated. No offense, but my point is, I have a reason for liking what I like, and they really helped me get through some of that stuff that I had been through, but here I am now. So, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna continue working on my other videos, but I'm glad that you guys got to hear that. So, bye. Oh, wait, first, I have to put on something real quick. Hang on. If you know, you know. Bye.